snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hi guys! So, long time no see, although I have been uploading videos every now and then. I have been so busy this last month. It has been crazy how busy I've been because of uni. I've actually got 2 weeks until my deadline for the whole year, and then I will be completely finished with the university course stuff. I've just got the degree show to do after that, so all very exciting, all a bit crazy, all a bit stressful, but I'm getting there and I'm very much happy with how things are going. On top of that, I've also had some really bad health problems recently. I've got a condition with my ears and it's kind of been resurfacing recently, which has been causing me a lot of pain and a lot of annoyance. So hopefully gonna get that sorted out as well within the next few weeks, because I've got an appointment to see a specialist and everything now. So those two things have basically been making me unable to make videos very often, which isn't great because I love you guys and I love making videos and I really miss it when I'm not able to do so for a while. However, I have still been reading. I'm really happy with what I have read because I've had a pretty good reading month overall. It's just been so hectic this month that I'm surprised that I've even managed to get this amount read. So, I don't know if any of you saw my tweet the other day, but I tweeted out the other day that TBRs will be coming back in June, and that is true, they will. They won't be coming back in May because May is my deadline month, so it's all going to be a bit busy. Maybe they'll come back in the second half of May because I finish on the 13th of May. But at the moment, TBRs have been put on hold, is, as you probably guessed from watching my channel, because of uni and the last few weeks of uni and the last months of uni. Hopefully I will finish up uni and then get really back into reading and just plough through so many of the books that I have on my TBR. I have so many good ones that I'm so excited about, so fingers crossed everything goes well for the next 2 weeks. Wish me luck, and then I'll be finished with my degree, which is so crazy and awesome and very exciting. On to the amount of books. So this month I read quite a few books, even though I didn't have anywhere near as much time as the previous year. I actually managed to read 11 graphic things and 11 books, so I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. Even though the page count is smaller than last month's, but last month's was crazy, I'm still really happy with that. So let's get started. I'm going to go through the novels first, and then I'm going to go through the graphic novels, and then I'm going to go through my currently reading. So I'll try and keep this snappy, but if it turns out to be really long, it turns out to be really long. You guys haven't had like a long and rambly video from me for a while anyway, so enjoy it. Let's get started. So the first book that I ended up reading this month was A Little Life by Hannah Yanagihara. This one I did as a buddy read with Chelsea from The Reading Outlaw and James from James Chatham. This was a really depressing book. It made me quite down in the dumps. It really wasn't a very nice one. It definitely relied heavily on abuse and tragedy to shock the reader rather than resolving problems for the characters. It was very much a shock factor book. It kind of made me feel a bit numb whilst I was reading it. I wasn't really enjoying it. The beginning I enjoyed, and then the second half was just not what I wanted. It was just very depressing. So I think that was largely a part of why I didn't read quite as much as I wanted to in the first few weeks of this month. I just wasn't feeling it after that. I just wanted a bit of fun. So I ended up watching lots of reality TV and having like fun time watching YouTube rather than reading as much as I would like. I ended up giving A Little Life 2 out of 5 stars. I will have a review that will talk about it in a lot more detail because I think it's definitely one that needs to be discussed. It's got some problems. The next one that I read is I Call Myself a Feminist, The View from 25 Women Under 30. This one was the Feminist Orchestra pick for March, I believe. I only just got to it in April though. I'm a bit behind, but I will put a link to that Goodreads group down below. It is run by Jean from Jean's Bookish Thoughts, so if you want to check it out, you can. This is a collection of essays, feminist essays. Really was not my thing, to be honest. It just didn't ever like do anything for me. It just felt like there was a lot of pointlessness to it. Although I agreed with some of the things that the people were saying within this, I felt like a lot of them didn't really do anything new. They didn't really give me any fire to fight for feminism. Like, it just felt a little bit samey, and I feel like a lot of the essays were lackluster. Sounds really mean because obviously to these people who wrote them, I'm sure that they were putting in all that they could, but it just didn't read that well as a collection for me. It just felt very flat. It felt a bit mundane. I wasn't really enjoying it whilst I was reading it. There's also a lot of quotes within this that I just felt were a bit pointless, and some of them were so random, they hadn't been carefully selected at all. They didn't really have any relevance or bearing on the collection. So unfortunately I gave this a 2 out of 5 stars as well. The next one I read I actually listened to on audio, and this is the first one in the Sherlock Holmes series, which is called A Study in Scarlet by Arthur Conan Doyle. I haven't ever read any of the Sherlock Holmes stories until now, but I really wanted to for a very long time, and I really enjoyed this one. It was definitely well narrated, really enjoyed the narrator, and I just felt like it was a fun story. It was a great little mystery, and Sherlock Holmes is a character who I just love reading about, love hearing about, love watching the TV shows, so I'm sure that I'm going to continue to enjoy this series. I also just really think that Watson is a funny character. He makes me laugh as well, so I gave that one a 3 out of 5 stars. Very likeable indeed, and I will be continuing on with some of the others in the series because I do have the audiobook for all of the works by Arthur Conan Doyle that revolve around Sherlock, so I'm sure I will get to them all in good time. The next one that I ended up reading, I read on my Kindle, and that is The Winds of Calico. I actually read this one with Jackie and Eleanor, and they both finished it before me because I was having a bit of a slow beginning to the month, like I said. This one I really enjoyed, but it took a long time to get to where I really enjoyed it. I think it's quite a complicated one. You can definitely tell that it's his first series and that it maybe didn't come together in exactly the right way and maybe took a bit too long to get to where it should have been. Definitely overcomplicated at times and confusing at times. However, with all of that said, I still think that the ideas within this and the characters within this are really good, and I really enjoyed them. And once I did get to grips with everything that was going on and the magic system and how it all worked, I started to really connect and really enjoy what was happening. So I'm definitely going to continue on with this series and hopefully really enjoyed the next 2 as well. And I gave that one a 4 out of 5 stars overall. The next one I read was Mort by Terry Pratchett. This one is so good, so fantastic. I love Terry Pratchett. I'm really enjoying reading his stuff, and I read this one with Chelsea and James, whose channels are linked below, and we had a great time talking about this. Death is such a fantastic character, and the way that Terry Pratchett makes these characters joke and laugh and interest you as a reader is fantastic. He was an exceptional writer, and it's still my first time working my way through the Discworld series because it is such a long series. This is the 4th one in publication order, and I'm reading them in publication order. Yeah, it's just fantastic. Really enjoyed it. It's not too long, but it is just wonderful, and I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars as well. The next one that I read is Children of Earth and Sky by Guy Gavriel Kay. I was very kindly sent this by HalfBlood a while back, and I finally got around to reading it. This actually comes out in May, so I will have a review up by the time it comes out, I believe. I definitely want to get a review up by then, hopefully. I think it comes out on the 12th of May, so I'll probably try and aim for around then. Guy Gavriel Kay is fantastic. I love his stuff. He does an excellent job of creating a believable, authentic, really interesting historical fantasy setting. He does have fantastical elements, but it's very much historically rooted, so if you're interested in historical-based fantasy, then Guy Gavriel Kay is the person you need to check out. This was fantastic. Again, it was a little bit of a slow mover at the beginning, but when I got into it, I was hooked, and I really enjoyed this. I actually read most of this during the Dewey's 24-hour readathon. I didn't really participate in the readathon anywhere near as much as I wanted to because of uni work and general life stuff, but I did manage to put aside a couple of hours to sit down and just plough my way through this, and it really worked in that environment, just sitting and ploughing through the pages. It was so fun and really enjoyable, so I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars as well. The next one I read, I'm sure many of you will be happy to see that I finally got to, and that is Old Man's War by John Scalzi. I have been meaning to read this for a while, and lots of you guys, when I put up my what sci-fi should I read next video, suggested Old Man's War, so I took up your advice and I did it and I read it, and I really enjoyed it, so I'm very grateful that you guys suggested it. This is such a fun, light sci-fi. It's got a lot of humour to it. It's definitely an improvement on Lock-In, which I read a while back by John Scalzi, and I wasn't that impressed by. This one I really enjoyed. I found it just to be such a fun ride, such a fun adventure, and I really liked the main character as well, and the humour and the wit that he brought to the story. So I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars too. The next one that I read was The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington. I actually listened to the audiobook of this. If you guys like Wheel of Time or anything sort of Sanderson-esque, This is basically a mashup of Wheel of Time and Brandon Sanderson in one, but not written by either of them. It's written by James Islington. He kind of cites those two as big influences on his work, along with Patrick Rothfuss, and you can certainly see that whilst reading his story. I loved this. I have been meaning to read this for quite a while because my boyfriend said to me a couple of months ago, maybe even a year ago, that he read this and he really enjoyed it, and he does not read very often, and so the fact that he chose this book, read it all the way through and loved it was quite impressive to me, so I thought it must be good. And it was. It did not disappoint me at all. I love the magic system, I love the world, I love the characters, and I'm so excited for whenever the next book comes out, hopefully this year, maybe next year, something like that. But I really, really like this, and I would highly recommend you guys check it out if you haven't already. It's just fantastic. So I gave this one a 4.5. If you want to see more about it, then I will be doing a full review of all of these books, so keep your eyes open for those. The next one I read was this one. It is The Willful Princess and the Piebald Prince by Robin Hobb. It's a very, very short little 2 novellas in one collection, and it's part of the Fits in the Fool series, but it's set before any of the Fits in the Fool books, so if you ever want to try out Robin Hobb but you don't really know where to start, you can start with this. It doesn't spoil anything. It is set before the main timeline of the Farseer trilogy, which is the very first trilogy she did, so if you want to try her stuff out, I would highly recommend this. It's also very beautiful inside. As you can see, the front cover's beautiful anyway. The end papers are gorgeous. And then there's a little illustration, a moose, I think, maybe, and the horse and the princess and stuff. I really, really enjoy Robin Hobb's stuff. I'm sure loads of you know, and you can probably guess that I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. It was fantastic. I loved it. I love the characters. I love the world. I just really enjoyed being back with these people again, and I'm so, so excited for whenever the next book in this series comes out, because I have no doubt that it's going to be flawlessly wonderful. And yeah, I would highly recommend this if you want to try out Robin Hobb. The next one that I read in April, or finished up in April, was Otherland number 4, which is Sea of Silver Light. I really love the Otherland series. I will be doing a review of book 2, 3 and 4 all combined together, so you'll probably see that coming soon. I've already done a review of book 1 in the series. Completely fantastic series, hooked me the whole way through. I listened to these on audio mostly, and I was just completely absorbed and pulled into the world, and it was just utterly fantastic. They're all by Tad Williams, and I would highly recommend you check this out if you're looking for something akin to Ready Player One, but with a lot more detail, a lot more expansive universe and worlds and characters and diversity. Definitely a fantastic series, so I gave that one a 5 out of 5 stars as well. And the final book that I read this month was Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I love it. It's Harry Potter, like, I gave it 5 stars, of course. Fantastic, just as great as the first time, maybe even better, because I haven't reread them for so long, and I just love it, and I'm definitely going to try and get to book number 7 very soon, so that I have finished up the entire reread for this whole series, which is very, very exciting because I've just been loving it, and I'm so happy to be able to listen to them whilst I'm like doing uni work and stuff. It just makes me in a really great mood, and I just enjoy myself so much, so fantastic. Moving on to the graphic things that I read fairly quickly if I can. I read issue 1 of Jessica Jones, which is a sort of sampler issue that's only 12 pages long. Bought it on Comixology, it's free I think. Terrible, absolutely shockingly bad, would not recommend. I started watching Jessica Jones the TV show. I've watched the first 3 episodes and I like it. I don't love it yet, but I like it. And I thought, oh, I'll get this because it's a tie-in with the TV show, and it was just appalling. It would have put me off watching the TV show if I'd read that first. I think it was just really bad. The artwork was horrendous, the story was so simplistic and dull. Would not recommend. Maybe like half a star because I finished it. The next one that I read was Mirror issue number 2. This one I picked up on my Comixology app, and I wanted to love this. I really want to love this series because it is so beautifully painted, but I just don't get it yet. I feel like there's a lot missing from the development, there's a lot missing from the plot. We're not really told an awful lot about what's happening, and I feel as though I just want more from this series. It's not giving me enough of a story to carry it with just the artwork right now. I want there to be more. If there was more text within this and it was sort of giving you a bit more of the plot, I would probably love this, but it's not quite reaching that level yet. So at the moment I gave the second one 2 out of 5 stars, and I'm not really sure if I'm going to continue or not. The next one that I picked up was In Sext issue 1. This one I was recommended by one of you guys and I was hoping to really enjoy it. I did like it, but I had some problems with it as well. It was definitely more gruesome than I was expecting. It's about a lesbian couple and one of them is married to a man. She doesn't like the man, so they decide to plot how to get away from him and leave the marriage, and it kind of revolves around weird insects bursting out of people. Bit weird. I liked the kind of ideas of this and I liked the premise, but I just think the artwork wasn't my favourite, and so far the story hasn't really got going, but it is only the first issue, so I might end up picking up the second issue to try it out as well. At the moment I gave it a 2.5, so it was likeable, it was definitely enjoyable at times, but then it was also a bit too weird at times. We'll see if it gets better as it goes on when I read issue number 2. The next one that I picked up was Pluto Nuh issue 1. I have had this on my potential to buy list for a while, and I thought the best way to try out the series would be to get issue 1 because it was on a discount on Comixology, and I thought, why not? So I paid 60p for it and I really enjoyed it. It was definitely a fun one. It sort of focuses on superheroes, not really entirely sure where it's going yet. I liked it, I liked the art style, I liked the quirkiness and the fun of the characters, so I gave that a 3 out of 5 stars. The next one that I read is Giant Days Volume 1. This is by Alison Trayman and Koga, I think. I have heard so many good things about this series generally that I finally thought, why not? I'll pick it up, I'll give it a go, and I'll see what I think too. It is a contemporary story, so it doesn't have any fantastical or science fiction elements, but it is an interesting story about this group of 3 girls who are all at university together and kind of the adventures that they get up to, discovering feminism, discovering themselves, sort of dealing with boys and people who are annoying to them, and just generally having a fun time dealing with what university is like, I suppose. And because I'm in university, I definitely related to a lot of what they were saying and was interested in what they were doing. I do think it could have been pushed a bit further. I think this is quite a short volume. It's not really as long as I would have expected and not as much happens as I was expecting, but it is cute, it is fun, and it's definitely one that I enjoyed, so I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars overall. The artwork looks like this. The next 2 that I read are both from the same series, but I only have one of them with me because the other one is back at home, and they are Morning Glories. I read volume 1, this is volume 2. I also read volume 2, and it's by Spencer, Isima and Esquigio. I'm not really sure how you say that, apologies. But this is a series which I've been meaning to get to for a while because Chelsea from the Reading Outlaw recommended it to me quite a long time ago and I still hadn't managed to get to it. Luckily I did this month and I really enjoyed both of them. The artwork is quite similar to what you see on the front within. It's kind of cartoony, but I really like the colour tones and I think it's a very nice colour tone style. I really like the characters. Basically we follow a couple of different characters as they go to what they think is going to be a wonderful new school, but it actually turns out to be quite a horrible place and they can't escape it once they get there, and the people who run it are really rather nasty and seem to be having all sorts of secrets that they're not willing to tell the children who go there. I love it. It is quite a brutal one. Some of the pages within this are quite brutal, so just be aware if you are not a fan of blood or guts or gore. There is that in these 2 volumes, and I'm sure that it's going to continue in the later series as well. I think this is an ongoing series or a very long series. I think there are like 9 volumes out, something like that, so I'm definitely excited. I already own volume 3 and I will be getting to it, and I gave both volume 1 and volume 2 4 out of 5 stars, so really recommend it. The next one that I picked up was issue number 2 of Rathborne. This is an ongoing series by Joe Benitez and MM Jen, and I'm really enjoying it so far. It's by the same team who do Lady Mechanica, as I just said, and I really love their stuff, and I just think that this is such a fun series. The second issue opened up the world a bit more, opened up the characters a bit more, and just made me really excited for the potential of this series. I'm definitely going to continue. I've already got issue 3 waiting for me to read it, so I'm hoping that it will be just as fantastic, and I loved this, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. The next ones that I read were actually part of the same series, and that was Finishing finishing up that series, or that story arc of the series. It was Toil and Trouble, issue number 5 and number 6. I really enjoyed this series. It was a kind of retelling of Macbeth from the point of view of the witches, and it was so beautifully drawn. Some of the pages within this were fantastic. Issue number 5 I really enjoyed and I gave 5 stars to, and issue number 6 I gave 4 stars to. So I really liked both of them. Definitely enjoyed issue number 5. I think that was probably my favourite in the whole series, or the whole story arc. But if this does come out in a volume, I will get it. If it doesn't, then I have them on Comixology, and I would highly recommend you guys checking out the series anyway, because it is fantastic. The next one that I read is the first issue of this volume, so I haven't read this whole volume yet. I read the first issue on Comixology, and then I went to the shop and bought the volume because I loved it so much. So this is by Kurt Busiek and Benjamin Dewey, and it is The Autumn Lands Volume 1, Tooth and Claw. I really was excited by this. I saw it just as a sale deal and I thought I'll get the first issue, why not? Tried it out, really enjoyed the art style and really enjoyed the premise. It's about these animals who have different sorts of powers, and the power of magic is fading from the world, so they don't really have a way to keep controlling these guys who are the lower slaves. These people all live on a floating city and they have magic, and they control the slaves by giving them little bits of magic as payment for their services, mining out magic. It's got lots of neon pages, it's very animalistic, and I just really liked the first issue of this. I haven't read the rest of it yet, but I'm super dying to, so I'm sure that I will get to the rest of this volume super soon. Now that I have it, I will definitely do so. I gave the first issue 4.5 stars out of 5. The next one that I read was Sunstone Volume 4. This is by Stefan Sejic, and I really love this series. It is fantastic. You guys have heard me talking about it all the time since I first initially picked it up. It is genuinely one of my favourite all-time graphic novel series. I love the characters within this. Their relationship is fantastic. It is lesbian BDSM erotica. If you're not into that, you won't enjoy it. However, I do think it is totally tasteful, totally beautiful, totally captivating, and it really does a great job of representing BDSM to a good audience in a fantastic way. I do not think it is rude or crude. I think it is genuinely a lovely, loving relationship between these two women, and I just think it's fantastic. So this is the final volume that is currently out. I will definitely be picking up any more that come out. The artwork looks like this within. Very catchy, very fun, and I just love it. So I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. Those are all of the things I managed to get to in the month of April. It is the 30th of April today, so I don't think I'm going to finish anything else up today, but you never know. I will now go through quickly and show you what I'm currently reading and talk a little bit about it, but hopefully not for too long because this video is already super long. So the first thing that I am currently reading is on my Kindle. As you can see, this is Kaleidoscope, and it's got lots of different people who contributed to it. Garth Nix, Sophie Samatar, Sean Williams, William Alexander, Karen Healy, Tansy Rayner Roberts, E.C. Myers, Viola Kaftan, and it's basically diverse YA science fiction and fantasy stories edited by Elisa Krastonian and Julia Rios. I have been reading this on and off for a while, just sort of dipping my toe into the stories. I've been loving it. I'm at 75% of this, so I'll definitely finish it up in this next month. I really would recommend that you guys check this out if you're interested in some very unique, very cool science fiction and fantasy YA stories. I would definitely say it's a good one so far. It's probably going to get at least a 3.5, maybe a 4, depending on how the last few stories go, but I've really enjoyed it overall. So the next thing that I am currently reading, I'm actually listening to this one on Audible, and I am listening to The Natural History of Dragons by Marie Brennan. I'm loving it so far. It is very fantastic, very exciting. Definitely focuses on sort of female power back in the day when there wasn't a lot of female power, and it's about a fantastic natural historian who is adventuring around trying to study dragons and find out about them and their lives and what they do and how they hunt and who they are, and I just really enjoy it. I'm about halfway through that one. I'm hoping to finish it up sometime tomorrow. but it's fantastic and I would highly recommend checking that series out if you haven't already. The next one that I'm currently reading is The Dragonbone Chair by Ted Williams. I'm actually listening to this on Audible, but I have the Kindle one as well, so I can show you guys the cover. I really liked the Otherland series by Ted Williams, so I wanted to try out his other work. This is the first one in his fantasy series, not sci-fi, and I'm enjoying it. It's definitely got a very sort of classic, old school fantasy feeling. It doesn't feel like it's that modern or fresh. It does have things like trolls in it, which is kind of cool. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm about halfway through this one as well. It's a bit of a longer one, so it's going to take me a bit longer to finish, but I am enjoying it, and hopefully the series sort of picks up as it goes through the books, because this definitely feels like more of a setup book than a complete book on its own at the moment, but we'll see how it finishes up. I don't know how it's going to end just yet. The next one on my list of currently reading is Arena by Holly Jennings. This one was sent to me by Ace Books and I'm very grateful, and I'm reading this at the same time as Chelsea from the Reading Outlaw. We are reading it together. I'm about 25% of the way through this at the moment. I started it last night. It's a YA science fiction sort of focused on gaming, particularly female gamers, which I'm really liking, and so far it's very fun. It's very fast paced, very interesting. Hoping to finish this one up in the next day or so as well, because it's very quick to get through. The next one that I'm currently reading is Being a Beast by Charles Foster. I am about 15% of the way through this. It's a non-fiction. I'm not loving this one as much as I wanted to. It feels a bit preachy to me, which I'm not really a fan of. We'll see how it shapes up because I'm not that far into it yet, but at the moment I'm not loving this one, so fingers crossed it gets better. And the final one that I am currently reading is Prudence by Gail Carriger. This is the first one in the Custard Protocol series, I believe, and I'm really enjoying this so far. I'm not very far into this one at all. I only just started it, so I'm like 5% into it. I'm reading this one with Elizabeth from Books and Pieces and Chelsea from the Reading Outlaw, so I'll put links to their channels below. So far it's fantastic. I love Gail Carriger's Parasol Protectorate series, and I'm sure that I'm going to really enjoy this, as it follows a character who was in that series and is now in this series, and I'm really liking seeing her already, so cannot wait to find out more about her story and her adventures, and hopefully I will love this, and hopefully it won't take me very long to finish it up. So this has been super long. Hopefully you guys stuck with me to the end. If you did, then thank you very much. I really want to make so many videos for you guys. I have so many ideas in my brain about things that I want to do and things that I want to get a bit creative with. When I finish uni in 2 weeks, I will do all of this stuff. I want to start making more videos about things that are not just reviews, and also just talk a bit more about myself, I guess, because I don't do that very often. I want to make this channel more of an active thing, and as soon as I finish university I'm going to have so much more free time for doing that, and I'm so excited about it. So definitely keep an eye on the channel once 2 weeks is gone. In the meantime, in that 2 weeks, don't expect an awful lot of videos to be coming out, because I am not going to have the time with my last 2 weeks of uni, but soon, very soon, there will be lots of exciting stuff. So thank you all for sticking around. Thank you all for watching this super long video, and I will see you all very soon in another one. Bye!
Thank you for watching my video today. Go pick up a book, then come back and chat with me again.